In the middle of the 19th century, London stood as the beating heart of the British Empire. It was the largest and most powerful city in the world, a center of commerce, politics, culture, and industry. Its streets bustled with life, its markets overflowed with goods from across the globe, and its population surged beyond anything the city had ever known. But beneath this grandeur lay a dark and festering truth. London was drowning in its own waste. The River Thames, which had once been a symbol of life and prosperity, had transformed into something far more sinister. It had become an open sewer, a slow-moving, toxic stream filled with human excrement, industrial waste, rotting animals, and refuse of every imaginable kind. For centuries, people had dumped waste into the river without much thought. But as London's population exploded, from around 1 million at the start of the 1800s to over 2.5 million by the 1850s, the problem became catastrophic. The city's infrastructure had not evolved with its growth. Most homes relied on cesspits, underground pits where sewage collected. When these pits overflowed, their contents seeped into the ground, contaminating wells and spreading disease. Eventually, many cesspits were connected to drains that led directly into the Thames. The river, once a source of drinking water, had become a poisonous artery of death. The consequences of this pollution were devastating. Throughout the early 19th century, London suffered repeated outbreaks of cholera, a deadly disease that caused severe diarrhea, dehydration, and often death within hours. Entire neighborhoods were struck down, leaving fear and confusion in their wake. At the time, people did not understand how diseases spread. The dominant belief was the miasma theory, the idea that diseases were caused by foul-smelling air. And London certainly smelled foul. The stench rising from the Thames was unbearable. It clung to the air, seeped into homes, and lingered in the streets. On hot days, it became almost suffocating. Ironically, while the theory of miasma was incorrect in identifying the true cause of disease, it was not entirely misleading. The smell itself did not cause illness, but it pointed directly to the filthy conditions that did. One physician, Dr. John Snow, began to challenge the accepted beliefs. He argued that cholera was spread through contaminated water, not air. His investigation of a cholera outbreak in Soho led him to a single water pump on Broad Street. When the pump handle was removed, the outbreak subsided. Despite this groundbreaking discovery, many officials dismissed his ideas. Change came slowly, and the city continued to suffer. Then came the summer of 1858. It was one of the hottest summers London had ever experienced. As temperatures soared, the already polluted Thames began to rot in the heat. The water level dropped, exposing banks of thick, black sludge that had accumulated over years. This sludge baked under the sun, releasing a stench so powerful it overwhelmed the entire city. The smell was not just unpleasant, it was oppressive, choking, and inescapable. People described it as a mix of decay, sewage, and death. The odor became so intense that it disrupted daily life. Businesses struggled to operate, and residents tried desperately to escape the city or seal their homes against the stench. But the worst impact was felt at the very heart of the British government. The Houses of Parliament, located right along the Thames, were directly exposed to the toxic fumes. Members of Parliament found it nearly impossible to work. Curtains soaked in chloride of lime were hung over windows in a desperate attempt to block the smell. It didn't work. Meetings were shortened, debates were interrupted, and some officials reportedly fled the building altogether. The crisis became known as the Great Stink. For the first time, the problem could no longer be ignored. For decades, proposals to improve London's sanitation had been discussed and rejected. The cost was always seen as too high, the scale too ambitious. But now, the situation had reached a breaking point. The Great Stink forced the government into action. Public pressure mounted. Newspapers reported on the unbearable conditions, and citizens demanded change. The fear of disease and the undeniable reality of the smell made it clear that something had to be done. Parliament quickly passed legislation to fund a massive overhaul of the city's sewage system. It was one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever attempted, and at the center of it stood a man whose vision would transform London forever. The vision of an engineer. Joseph Bazalgette, the chief engineer of London's Metropolitan Board of Works, was tasked with solving the crisis. he faced an enormous challenge. London was already a dense and chaotic city. Building a new sewer system would require digging up streets, rerouting drainage, and constructing vast underground networks, all while the city continued to function. But Bazalgette was not intimidated. He designed a revolutionary system that would intercept sewage before it reached the Thames. Instead of flowing directly into the river, waste would be redirected through a network of large underground sewers that ran parallel to the Thames. These sewers would carry waste eastward, away from the city center, where it could be discharged more safely. The scale of the project was staggering. It included over 1,300 miles of street sewers, nearly 100 miles of main intercepting sewers, massive pumping stations to move waste through the system, embankments along the Thames that concealed sewers and improved the city's layout. Bazalgette also made a crucial decision that would prove vital for the future. He built the system much larger than necessary for the current population. Many criticized this as excessive and costly, but Bazalgette anticipated the city's growth, and his foresight ensured that the system would serve London for generations. Construction began in the late 1850s. It was a monumental undertaking. Thousands of workers labored day and night, digging trenches, laying bricks, and constructing tunnels beneath the city. Conditions were often dangerous, with risks of collapse, flooding, and exposure to toxic materials. Despite these challenges, progress continued steadily. New embankments along the Thames not only housed the sewers, but also created wider roads and improved transportation. These changes reshaped the city's landscape, making it more modern and efficient. The pumping stations, some of which were architectural masterpieces, played a crucial role in moving sewage through the system. They combined engineering innovation with striking design, symbolizing the importance of the project. By the mid-1860s, the core of the system was complete, and the results were immediate. The impact of Bazalgette's sewer system was profound. The Thames gradually became cleaner. The overwhelming stench that had once paralyzed the city began to fade. More importantly, public health improved dramatically. Cholera outbreaks declined and eventually disappeared from London. Other waterborne diseases also decreased, as clean water became more accessible and contamination was reduced. The project marked a turning point in urban planning and public health. For the first time, a city had successfully tackled the challenges of rapid industrial growth through large-scale infrastructure. London became a model for cities around the world.